Ayo, back at it again with another video. Thank you all for watching. I greatly appreciate it. So, I've been meaning to make a video for a long time about the JFK assassination. Um, I'm finally getting around to it, and just viewer discretion is advised. Obviously, this is not easy footage to watch. We're going to go through the Zapruder film. I'm going to do a little bit of Google Maps to kind of show the route of the that he took. He was in Dallas. That was November of 1963. We're going to zoom in Dallas. Looking for Daily Plaza. Yep. I'm going to zoom in. So the motorcade was going up, I believe this is called Houston Street. If I can find, yep, Houston Street. So this street right here. So basically what the motorcade did was go up Houston to this intersection of Houston and Elm, and then a sharp turn down Elm Street, assassinated here. The motorcade proceeded west along Elm and then on to the hospital. So that was the route. Went up Houston Street, turned sharply onto Elm Street, and went west or left on Elm Street. So if we zoom in here, we got Daily Plaza, we got the Grassy Knoll, and then we got the book depository. So we're going to click on the satellite. So this is the area. We're going to zoom in. There are two X's on the pavement, if I can find them. Yep, so two right here actually, and then a third one right here. So the official story is Lee Harvey Oswald acted alone. I don't believe that for a second. And I'll show you why I don't believe it for a second. So in my thumbnail, I said the Zapruder film frame number 314 and frame number 315. He was shot from his front right side, and that would match up perfectly with the location of the Grassy Knoll. So that there would have to be a second shooter. And I'll go through that in a second, but I want to zoom in on this and we'll see if I can do a street view of it. So we'll go about right there if we can. Yep, so we got people on the sidewalk, got trucks, we got the Grassy Knoll here. So this is the two X's. You got the car basically following this truck along Elm Street, Grassy Knoll right over here. We got nice people over here, got cars over here, and then we got the book depository right here. So went up Houston Street, came down Elm Street, and the first shots, well, the official story is Lee Harvey Oswald did all of the shots, but no, he didn't. So he's coming down this way. And that would be, since he's facing the other way, that would be his back right side. So he's following the truck. The book depository is now behind him and to his right side. And then, so that's where the first shot enters the back of the skull on the right side. So if you're hit on the back right side of your head, then your head's going to go front and towards the left. You're going to be hitting the back right side and you're going to go to the front left side. That's just how that's going to go. And then we got another one right here. And then in the Zapruder film, he is hit from his front side and to the right. So that would be the Grassy Knoll. That would either be by the fence, behind the wall, but that would, and then once you go further along, this is the part of the street where Jackie is getting on to the trunk of the car looking for the piece of skull. So we are going to look at the Zapruder film. I want to again reiterate, very disturbing, but viewer discretion. So we're going to look at the Jfk Assassination, Zapruder Stabilized. This is from Ant Davison and Z on YouTube. I really like this one. It's stabilized, and we're going to go through it on normal speed first, and then we'll go through it on slower speed. So you can see the motorcycles coming up Houston Street and turning sharply on Elm. I really wish this street sign wasn't in the way, because that's when the first shot hit. As you can see, his right arm goes up, which is indicating that he feels it on his right side. So on the right side and the back. So that's the shot from the book depository. That's from Lee Harvey Oswald. So that's frame 225, 230-ish. The street sign's in the way, but you can see he's like moving his right arm, trying to figure out what just happened. He's going to start leaning towards his front, and towards his left, he's going to start leaning left into Jackie. So if you remember, the book depository was back here. So if we go way back here to this first shot, it's from his backside, right side. So if we turn around our Google Street View, it's hit from the front, it's hit from the back right side, which would push the body and the head towards the front and towards leaning towards the left. So that's pretty much what's happening here. Jackie's leaning towards Jackie. If we go further, you can see he's leaning, and then frame 3, 14, 15, and 16, you'll see that orange right here. That is on his front right side of his head, which is then going to push the head backwards and to the left. Yep, back and to the left. And this is the part where Jackie gets on the trunk, trying to find the brain matter, the skull. So that is further down the street right here at this X, right here. So as you can see from that head jolt, and his head jolted back into the left, which would mean that he was shot from the front and the right. So if the bullet comes from the front right, your head's going to jolt back to the left. Again, if your head gets, a punch or a slap, or in this case a bullet, if you get hit on the right side of the front of your head, on the right side, your head's going to jump back to your left. So that would mean that the second shooter is somewhere over in the Grassy Knoll. That Lee Harvey Oswald is not over here. Lee Harvey Oswald is up in the book depository way back here. So that would indicate a second shooter. The official story is nonsense. There's, this concept of a magic bullet. First of all, if you're believing in magic bullets, then there's blizzards in hell. Like, be realistic. A magic bullet? Come on. Be realistic. So, we're going to go back to the Zapruder film, and we're going to slow it down. We're going to go as slow as YouTube will allow us to, at 0.25 speed. So they make that sharp turn from Houston onto Elm Street, preceded by motorcycles. And we're going to skip ahead a little bit. There we go. So this first shot from Lee Harvey Oswald comes when this street sign is in the way, unfortunately. Okay, again, he raises his right arm because he feels something on his right side, which would mean that that first shot would come from his right side and the bullet would enter the back side of his head. Probably towards where the ear is. So he raises his right arm. He feels something on his right side, and then he starts leaning forward, left, to Jackie. And then this is where the second shot comes in. From the grassy knoll, the bullet from the grassy knoll is going to enter the front right side and is going to jerk his head back into the left. So he's leaning towards Jackie. Jolts back to the left. Enters the front right side of his head, jerks his head back to the left, and then Jackie is trying to get on the trunk. Secret Service is also trying to find brain matter, skull, whatnot. And then drive off this way and then go towards the hospital. All right, let's go through it one more time because I think it's important to understand that there was a second shooter. It would be physically impossible for there to be only one shooter. So coming on Elm, going up Houston, coming on Elm, we see these people again saying hello to the Google Street Map car. The X's are right here. He raises his right arm because he feels something on his right side, and that would indicate the shot from his back right side and the book depository from Lee Harvey Oswald. We're going to go down the street. We're going to follow this truck, and we're going to go to this next X mark. This is where he gets the bullet on the front right side of his skull. The head jumps back to his left side, because if you get something hit on your right side of your head, the front right side of your head, your head's going to go back and to the left, which would indicate Grassy Knoll, the second shooter. Okay. The one that I want to stop on is frame 3, 14, and 15. First shot happens with this street sign in the way. He raises his right arm, gets hit in the back right of his head. He starts leaning forward into his left. Yep, raises her right arm right there. He starts leaning forward and left towards Jackie. Jackie's trying to see what happened. Frame 280. Okay. Right there. Okay. Actually, I want to see if I can back a little further. Okay, so that's frame 311. It's actually frame 313. There we go. So that orange enters the front right side. Let's see if we can zoom in. There we go. So basically what happens, hit from the back right, starts leaning forward into his left towards Jackie, and as he's leaning forward into his left, then the bullet, second one, comes into the skull front right, jerking the head back to the left. Yep, jerking the head back to the left. And then that's when Jackie and the Secret Service agent are trying to. Well, Secret Service agent is trying to get on the car. He just heard shots ring out. Jackie's getting on the trunk of the car because she just saw a piece of brain matter and piece of flesh and skull shoot off. So his second shot is right here. Since his head jerked back to the left, that would indicate he got shot from the front side, his right side, the grassy knoll. If you don't believe me, just watch the Zapruder film and slow-mo it, freeze frame it at 3:13, 14, 15, and a little bit afterwards. And then anything after that is they're driving off to the hospital. So if you are looking for proof, definitive proof that there's a second shooter on the grassy knoll, frame 3:13, 14, and 15 is your evidence. The official story of JFK getting shot by Lee Harvey Oswald is not entirely accurate. I mean, Lee Harvey Oswald, I'm sure, was only able to fire probably one, maybe two shots. He was the initial one in the back, right where he lifted his right arm up, and then there's a second shooter that the bullet entered the front right of his head, jerked the head back to the left, and that's when Jackie got on the car looking for the brain matter, the skull, So, second shooter's definitely confirmed, in my view. If someone tells you about a magic bullet theory, they're crazy. There's no such thing as magic bullets. I don't believe the official story. I never have. It was definitely a coordinated assassination. Shot from the back right from Lee Harvey Oswald, and then shot from the front right from the grassy knoll. So that is that's the video. That's the frame by frame of the Zapruder film, shot in the front right of the head from the grassy knoll, the brain matter flesh on the hood, and his head jerked back to the left. So with that being said, I know that was a little bit of graphic video. Sorry about that, but I'm going to wrap it up here. I'll see you in the next one. Deuces.